Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'd like to give a yasher koach to Rabbi Rubinov, assistant rabbi, associate rabbi, is that the right word? From Sharei Emunah, a very special place. I know it's a beautiful building outside, that I know, and I know a lot of Torah takes place here. And I always pass by and I always see shiurim here and upstairs and downstairs. Baruch Hashem, it's a beautiful thing. And I'd like to thank Chazaq and Torah anytime for posting and for always spreading the word of Torah, which obviously is our lifeline. Thank you. I want to discuss a very important topic today, obviously, because Pesach is upon us. Okay, Pesach is upon us, and we do know the rabbis, Chazal teach us, Shloshim Yom Kodem HaChag, 30 days before a Yom Tov, a person should start preparing for that Yom Tov. Why? Not just physically, because let's be honest, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, I don't know if you need 30 days to prepare for the physical Yom Tov. 30 days for Yom Kippur, you don't eat. You don't really have anybody coming over. So so obviously Chazal is telling us you prepare emotionally, spiritually, ruchnius-wise. You prepare 30 days before. Now, it's interesting to note that Pesach is called Zman Cheruseinu, a time of freedom. Okay? Time of freedom. What does time of freedom mean? That we're supposed to feel free. We're supposed to feel free. The Torah wants us on Pesach to feel free. But if you really think about it, Pesach, you would think on a physical level, Pesach is the most hardest Yom Tov to prepare, the hardest Yom Tov to actually go through in a way, and yet it's called Cheruseinu. Now what do I mean? How many mothers, I know my mother, this is the truth, my mother, Hanukkah time would tell me no bringing food upstairs. After Hanukkah, there's no bringing food, no chametz, no bringing chametz upstairs. You know what I'm talking about? Some people say it all year round. They don't even have challah all year round because you don't bring chametz into the house a year before Pesach, even though it's Pesach. But I will tell you that people prepare for Pesach and they mamish work very, very hard. Very, very hard to prepare for the Yom Tov. So mothers are working hard. Fathers usually work harder, I'll be honest, even though they might not do as much in the house, but when it comes to preparing for Pesach, there's always errands to do, okay? Financially, Pesach is a very expensive Yom Tov, where people pay more usually, it costs more, everything costs more, things cost, the matzahs, everything costs. Yet it's called Cheruseinu, freedom. And this is an interesting thing. If Pesach is called a Yom Tov of freedom, why do we put so much work where you would think it's not free? Right? But when you ask people what's called freedom, going on a vacation, doing nothing, relaxing, I mean, some people might think that. I'm not saying they're wrong, but some people might think that. What is freedom? Freedom means relaxation. I'm free. I'm a free guy. Yet, here we're expected to have freedom. We're expected to work weeks and weeks in advance. And yet, you come to the Pesach Seder, and what do we have? A whole night. Now, again, if you're prepared for Pesach and you're spiritually, ruchnius-wise prepared, then yes, it's easier to get through a Pesach Seder. But if you come in unprepared, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours at a Pesach Seder could seem long, could seem very long. And where's the freedom in that? That's not freedom. That's freedom. First of all, you're exhausted, usually you're pretty exhausted when it comes to the Pesach Seder, from all the avoid and all the preparations and last-minute preparations. Pesach Seder maybe should have been done, maybe in the daytime. You have it in the daytime, you have a good sleep, that night you sleep well, and the next day you wake up refreshed and you have a beautiful Seder. So where's the freedom here? That's one thing. Okay, where is the freedom in Pesach when it's the hardest Yom Tov, in a way you would think, to prepare? Physically, monetarily, it's one of the hardest Yom Tovim, spending-wise, right? All the things you got to buy for Pesach. And we come to a Pesach Seder at night, and it's 5, 6, 7, 8, kol hamar areza meshubach. The more you can talk about it, the more you get involved. Wow, freedom. I want to get some sleep at 2, 3 in the morning. No, freedom. So that's first of all. Second of all, there's a question that always bothered me, and it bothers a lot of people that let's say don't delve into understanding what it is. Why does Hashem hate Chametz so much? What is it about Chametz that you can't have a little breadcrumb, anything in your house? Well, I'm not going to be from if I have a little piece of chametz in my house. That's first of all. Second of all, you're not allowed to see chametz. You're not allowed to own it. You're not allowed to see it. Obviously, you can't eat it, and that's why sometimes you're worried you'll see it, and you might want it, and you might come to eat it. What is this chametz? What? Shabbos we have chalas, and we're from, and we're stark, and everything's beautiful. What is it about chametz that Hashem says, the Torah tells us, not even to have a drop of chametz in your house. So I want to explain something to you. I will tell you this also. Rav Gifter Zatzal, was a big Rosh Yeshiva, and he actually brings down, actually from this past week's parsha, Parshat Tzav, that the korban mincha, he says, cannot have sa'ar, it can't have any flour, it can only be oil and salt. Oil and salt. What is it about the sa'ar from the korban mincha that he says you cannot, the Torah does not want you to have any sa'ar? Some of the korbanos is all chalos, right? Korban tamid, you bring chalos. This korban cannot have any yeast products in it. So he explains like this, and this is going to get into the answer of the chametz on Pesach. The Yetzer Hara does not tell a person, and this is very important to know, something that's not there, and he makes it appear. The Yetzer Hara will take something and he'll camouflage. He'll fluff it up, he'll make it look bigger than it is, he'll make it look, oh, you need it, but not, the Yetzer Hara can't take a chicken and make it look like a pig, or a pig, let's say a pig, and make it look like a chicken and then you eat it. Because that's not fair. If you had no opportunity to think differently if it looks like a certain thing. The Yetzer Hara will take a reality and he'll change it. He'll make your heart want it. He'll make your heart think differently, not correctly, and therefore you'll fall into a trap. Because everything Hashem puts in this world at a certain point of your life is permitted. Very interesting. Anger, if it's the right anger. You see, Moshe Rabbeinu was angry, but he had the right to be angry. Pinchas was angry. He had a right to be angry at his time. So anger is a good trait too, if it's used correctly. Eating, Shabbos, wine, Purim, Kiddush, everything's permitted at the right time. And that's the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving us the Torah and the world. That he created things and he lets us use it, but he lets us use it at the right time. When he says it can be used. And then it becomes not only not a bad thing, it becomes a good thing. It becomes a ruchnistic thing, it becomes holy. So he says by the korban mincha, Rav Gifter, he says like this. He says that the korban mincha is brought from a person's own personal giving. This guy gives this guy gives that. But when you give it, you gotta be who you are. You can't be fluffed up. Don't give it and be who you're not. If you can't afford it, don't give something you can't afford. If you could afford it, bring something you could afford. Be who you are, but be the best who you are. And what does salt do? Why does it say you should put salt? Because salt takes a food, doesn't change it, it just adds flavor. It takes the flavor, it doesn't add flavor. It takes the flavor that's there and he brings it out. Therefore, the whole inyan of this chametz is when a person's cleaning for Pesach, he shouldn't be thinking, I'm working on, I'm cleaning, I don't want to do what I need. If you don't understand what the whole chametz is, it seems like a big avodah. But if you look at the chametz like the Yetzer Hara, that it's the evil inclination that fluffs up, the whole idea of chametz is chimutz. It takes something that's a certain weight and measurement and size, and it blows it out of proportion. That's really the issue, because chametz, we have matzah, right? The answer is it's not fluffed up, it didn't rise. The Yetzer Hara, you know what he does? He fluffs things up in you, and you think, therefore when you're working on Pesach, you know what your avodah is? When you're cleaning, that you're cleaning yourself. You're cleaning your chametz from your own self. You're taking the chametz, and therefore what does Hashem want you? Every crack that there may be chametz, every drawer, every pocket, even jackets you're not going to wear, or books you won't open, or maybe you might open. If it's in your house, I want it out. If it's in your possession, it's got to go. Because when you're doing the avodah of cleaning, you should think about it. If you're cleaning the car for Pesach, or you're doing anything for Pesach, you should think about, you know what I'm doing? I'm cleaning myself from the chametz in myself, in my heart. And therefore, you know what Hashem says? I'm going to give you weeks of work, of getting rid of this chametz, of impurity, of Yetzer Hara from yourself, that when you come to the Pesach Seder, you're truly free. That's what freedom is. Freedom is when you come to the Pesach Seder, you come into Pesach, and you're free from your desires, from all the things that bog you down, from getting close to Hashem. That's true freedom. And you know what Hashem does then? He says, now you're a keli. You're a vessel to be mekabel, my Torah and mitzvahs, to understand me. Therefore, now that you're clean, lefikach hirber lehem Torah mitzvahs. Hashem says, I'm going to give you a night filled with Torah and mitzvahs. Because now that you're cleansed, hopefully, and you're spiritually cleansed too, you understood the concept of the cleaning of that chametz, you're now ready to enjoy the benefits of Torah and mitzvahs. Lefikach hirber lehem Torah mitzvahs. So we have a night filled with Torah and mitzvos. Now I want to tell you something. I'm sure you might not have heard it this way, but I'm not telling you I do it all myself, but I work on myself. Every year I get hopefully a little stronger, a little better, and I focus on it more. When I do avodah now for Pesach, even now, I honestly say to myself, almost every time when I actually bought from a certain organization, the Davis Memorial, they gave to Rabbeim and to people that, they much cheaper. When I push the button, when I push the button that my order is in, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I said, Hineni muchanim zuman, that I'm preparing myself, even with the buying of the products, so I can celebrate Pesach the way Hashem wants me to celebrate it and work on myself. Work on myself. When you buy products for Pesach, you're not even realizing it, but you're buying products that are not Chametz. So you're buying products almost b'kedusha. You're buying products with a certain mindset. Now, what does that have to do with you boys? What does that have to do with you boys? Let me explain something. Each one of us have something, maybe, I think you do, maybe, that you could work on. Whether it's maybe looking at things, whatever it is. I'm not here to judge people. I'm not here to give a list of things or to tell you things that you don't do and now you'll do them because I mentioned that. No, I'm here everybody has something he could work on. And you know what? Make it your job, your goal. The next 3 weeks left, I mean, only 3 weeks left, but the next 3 weeks, I'm going to work on myself on this particular thing that when I come into Pesach, I'll feel truly free in a way. Free from desires is a very big thing to feel free from. Addiction, and you're young, but adults, whether the people Nebuch that are involved. I had to deal today with a story, seriously, today with a bacher that got involved a little bit with gambling and how do we stop it, and once he started already, there are addictions out there, playing cards. It was about playing cards. But he started to play for money, and his parents called me up and asked me about it. I said, I hear you, I agree. I never gambled in my life, not because I'm such a good guy. Never gambled in my life. Even when I was 17, 18, I wasn't always the best bacher in the world. Not that I'm the best now. Never gambled. Even I understood then, even when I was not what I want to be or I should be, I understood stay away from this because there's no good thing to come out of it. Playing cards for money, and then it leads to this, and then it leads to betting. Not a good thing. Besides, Rabbi Yosef, he holds that he can't even buy scratch-off games. Am I right? Yeah. And there's different reasons why, not so much on the addiction aspect of the stealing aspect, right? Yeah. So it's not the point. The point is we all could take the next 3 weeks, keep it out of aim. If you don't speak to your parents or even treat them the way they should be treated. Now, the way they should be treated doesn't make a decision, then you make the decision how they should be treated. My father's tough on me, he deserves this. My mother doesn't talk to me nicely. I'm just mentioning things. You have a halachic requirement to respect your parents. So if you feel you're not giving them the proper kavod, work on it for the next 3 weeks. Work on it that you can come with something on your level to feel that freedom, and then you'll enjoy Pesach more. You'll feel good about yourself. Ein ben choron el misha osek b'Torah. Osek b'Torah means you're osek. What? With inyonei Torah. There's no freedom like someone that's connected to his life force. And I'm going to leave you with a little story, and that's it, and then we'll end. There was a man that was walking through Central Park, and he saw a bunch of leaves that were flying in the air, and the wind was taking it, and he asked, no, this is not a true story, by the way, so don't ask me. Oh, he was talking to the leaves? Yes, he was talking to the leaves. It's a mashal, it's a parable. And he saw a bunch of leaves that were flying, very excited in the wind, and he asked the leaves, why are you so excited? And the leaves said, don't you understand? We're free now, we're free. We used to be attached to that old tree over there. We used to be attached to those. Now look, we can see the world. We can go wherever we want. We're free. Why shouldn't we be excited? Okay, he didn't say anything. A few days later, the same man is walking through Central Park again, and he sees the leaves that he saw all dead on the ground. But there was one leaf that had a little green in it, a little life into it. So he asked that leaf, what happened to all of you? You were free. You were going to see the world. So the one leaf said, that we thought we were free, but we didn't realize that we were cut off from our sustenance, from our life force. We're cut off. What freedom? We thought we can go, but you can't go anywhere without oxygen. You can't go anywhere without your nourishment. Therefore, we died. We say, Eitz Chaim Hila Machazikim Bo. Torah is a tree of life, of sustenance, of nurturing. People think, if I stay away from, I'm not so close to Torah, I'll have a better life, I'll be happier, I'll be free, I can do what I want, no one says anything to me, nobody knows, I do things. You don't realize that the more you leave your sustenance, if you detach yourself from that tree, we wither away. We wither away eventually, and emotionally we wither away, and happiness, we wither away, and spiritually. And then some people die, actually. So, Eitz Chaim hi lama chazikim bo, to those that stay attached to that tree, are considered alive. They Eitz Chaim, the tree of life. So I give you all a bracha. I give you all a bracha that you have a very special rabbi, Rabbi Rubinov here. Very special man. Very special man. And he wants to be mechanech. He came into this shul and he wants to be mechanech. He wants to be mechanech. And you should all have a wonderful Pesach. And this, you'll bring more bachrim to the situation here. And you'll be marbitz Torah more. Marbitz Torah more. And I thank you so much for the opportunity.